Welcome back to the deep dive. If you're trying to keep up with, well, the chaos exploding across two coasts, Genoa City and Los Angeles, we have pulled together the ultimate stack of source material today. We are talking about the immediate run-up to November sweeps, a period defined by, high corporate espionage, incredibly shady alliances, and a suspicious medical emergency investigation that is, frankly, rapidly turning sinister.
That's absolutely right. Our mission today is critical. We need to quickly and thoroughly untangle the two massive conflicts that are currently interlocked. If you only have time for a snapshot of the most important developments, this is it.
Right.
On one front, you have the seismic Newman-Abbott AI crisis, where Victor Newman is using stolen proprietary technology to attack his rivals.
Okay.
On the other, you have the increasingly dangerous emotional investigation into Noah Newman's car accident out in Los Angeles.
And the timeline we're covering is crucial here. Our sources detail the critical pivot point starting Wednesday, October 29th, right through the official kickoff of November sweeps, which happens the following Monday.
Exactly. This is the moment when alliances shift dramatically, betrayals are exposed, and the stakes for every major family just go through the roof.
So we're essentially watching two major battlefronts develop simultaneously, and they're competing for the attention of the key power players.
That's it, precisely. The battle for Jabot and Newman Enterprises, fueled by the stolen AI program, it demands Victor and Victoria's immediate attention back home.
But then the human element, Noah's accident, the danger, the paranoia about finding out what really happened, keeps dragging the Newmans back to L.A.
Yep. The characters simply cannot focus on one crisis without the other one pulling them right back into the fold. It's quite the juggling act.
Okay, let's unpack this. We have to start on the corporate battlefield where the Abbotts are finally, and I mean aggressively moving to protect their legacy and draw a line in the sand.
All right, so the foundation of this entire corporate mess was officially laid out on Wednesday, October 29th.
Okay.
The core revelation came when Jack Abbott finally sat down with Billy and confirmed the truth they both kind of suspected.
Which was that Victor stole Kane Ashby's proprietary AI program. And crucially, Jack strongly suspects that Phyllis Summers acted as Victor's accomplice in the whole thing.
Wow. That is a staggering betrayal, if true, given Phyllis's, well, let's just say deeply complicated history and relationship with Jack.
Oh, absolutely.
She's worked with him, been married to him. He's consistently been one of the few people who believes in her, even when she's, least deserving of that trust.
Right.
But what's fascinating here isn't just the betrayal itself, it's Jack's immediate, aggressive, almost ruthless strategy for dealing with it.
Precisely. Jack doesn't, call a board meeting or hire a forensic accountant first. Nope.
No. What does he do?
He immediately wants Billy to go confront Phyllis. Try and shake information out of her.
Okay, direct approach, but Billy pushes back.
Yeah, Billy, maybe showing a flicker of self-awareness here, argues that Jack might actually have a better chance of getting information, given Jack's previous emotional hold on Phyllis. And Jack just dismisses that instantly. Why? Because Jack is not interested in subtlety or emotional appeals here. He knows he needs a blunt instrument.
Exactly.
And he commits to a flat-out vow, telling Billy he is absolutely determined to make Phyllis pay if she is helping Victor target Jabot. This isn't just corporate rivalry anymore. This sounds like personal destruction.
It really does. And Billy, who, let's be honest, has often been the flighty one or maybe the more ethical or at least morally ambivalent brother, he is fully aligned with this aggressive stance. He's not urging caution. He's urging full speed ahead.
Okay. That is a shift for Billy.
And the source material gives us the specific physical detail that perfectly underscores this newly aggressive, no-holds-barred tone, Billy's knuckles.
Ah, yes, the bruised knuckles. Jack notices Billy has marks on his hands. And Billy admits to his brother that he recently punched Adam Newman. But here is the critical strategic insight. Jack doesn't chastise him for resorting to violence.
No, he approves.
He approves.
That approval is far more than just, brotherly solidarity. Strategically speaking, it is a declaration of war, and it's a monumental shift for the Abbott family.
How so?
Historically, the Abbotts, especially Jack, have always tried to maintain the moral and ethical high ground over the Newmans. They're the standard bearers of legacy and integrity, right?
While Victor's the one using brute force, illegal stuff, intimidation.
Exactly. But by approving the punch, Jack is essentially telling Billy, and telling you, the listener, that the rules have changed.
They're dropping the gloves.
They are abandoning their sophisticated corporate image and ethical restraint to fight the Newmans using the Newmans' own tactics. They are coming at them hard and low.
Wow.
This signals that Jack views the threat of this stolen AI as, well, existential. It sets the perfect tone for an escalating war throughout November sweeps.
So Thursday, October 30th, that's the official kickoff of November sweeps, and Jack makes his move.
Yep, the sources confirm it. He steps up to protect Jubbo, its legacy, from this Victor AI threat. And the Abbott brothers are working as a tight, unified front for perhaps the first time in years.
And despite their intense suspicion of Phyllis, they literally just vowed to destroy her if she's involved. They recognize her immense value.
They do. They are actively working to try and get her on their side, recognizing her power as what the source calls a super-duper hacker.
It's an incredibly pragmatic move, isn't it? If you are going to fight Victor, you need the person who knows how Victor thinks.
And how she managed to steal the AI in the first place, yeah.
But this creates a fascinating piece of, psychological drama. And it raises the central strategic question that defines Phyllis's current position.
Which is?
How much information will she actually share with Billy? Is she going to maintain her lie, insisting she's entirely innocent in being framed?
Or will she reveal the complicated truth? That yes, she stole the AI, but maybe she claims she's actually trying to pull a magnificent double cross.
Right. Using Victor to facilitate a deeper game where she ends up with the power, the money, the tech advantage. Her true allegiance is the biggest wild card right now.
Absolutely. She excels at playing both sides until she sees who's winning.
And this is where the Abbott's aggressive stance could totally backfire.
How do you mean?
Well, if Phyllis perceives the Abbotts as coming at her too hard too fast, wouldn't she just retreat immediately and side with Victor? Where she might feel safer? Or just see more opportunity?
That's a very good point. Billy's success hinges entirely on whether he can appeal to her self-interest without threatening her. It's a delicate balance. Hashtag tech checks of Victor's preparation.
Okay, while the Abbotts are gearing up for this confrontation, Victor, for all his bravado, he's preparing his defenses, right? Because he knows what he's done is, indefensible.
Exactly. The source material confirms Victor offers Michael Baldwin yet another opportunity to get back into his good graces.
Michael Baldwin, the fixer? Why now?
Well, connect the timing to the bigger picture. This isn't just a casual legal chat. Victor needs Michael back as his primary fixer, and he needs him yesterday.
And why is that timing so critical?
Because Victor is fully aware that using stolen proprietary AI technology to target a rival corporation like Jabba is going to result in massive, perhaps even criminal, legal problems.
Right. This isn't just a civil suit. This is major intellectual property theft.
It impacts market stability, corporate integrity. Victor is anticipating subpoenas, board investigations, maybe even regulatory action. He sees the storm clouds gathering.
So Victor is essentially preemptively hiring the best defense lawyer he can find before the hammer drops.
That's what it looks like.
This action confirms definitively that Victor knows what he's doing is completely illegal and potentially devastating to Newen Enterprises' reputation, even if he doesn't care about the consequences for his rivals.
It also confirms his expectations for the depth of the fight. He knows the Abbotts won't back down now, especially since Jack has basically sanctioned Billy's use of, physical force. Victor expects a sustained, brutal corporate and legal war, and Michael is his shield. He's battening down the hatches. Hashtag tag 3. Kane, Phyllis, and the shifting blame game.
Let's give it now to the source of the stolen technology itself, Kane Ashby. He's fighting a battle on two fronts, isn't he? To get his AI back and, really, to get his life back.
He really is, and his confrontation with Phyllis provides some spectacular psychological insight into both of them. Hashtag tag A, Kane's confrontation, the lying liar.
The source material doesn't mince words, calling Phyllis a lying liar.
No, it doesn't, and that pretty accurately captures her interaction with Kane. He confronts her directly, believing she is playing him, which, let's be honest, she is.
And Phyllis, what's her move?
She launches the spectacular campaign of denial and distraction. Her main deflection is strategic. She insists that Victor's target for the stolen AI is a smaller fish, Arabesque, not the main rival, Jabot.
Trying to downplay it, but Kane sees through that.
Oh yeah. Kane is smart enough to question this logic immediately. He asks, why would Victor waste time and resources on a minor competitor when the biggest rival Jabud is sitting right there?
It's a pretty transparent attempt by Phyllis to minimize the consequences of her actions.
Totally.
So,
and when her logic fails, she immediately attempts to use personal deflection. She claims that Kane is actually responsible for Nick getting hurt back in France.
Wow. Classic Phyllis move. When cornered professionally, attack personally. shift the shame onto him.
Exactly. But what's truly fascinating is how quickly Phyllis gets genuinely upset when Kane reveals a key fact. He had already warned Jack and Diane about the stolen AI.
Ooh, okay. Why does it bother her so much?
Kane questions why she is angry that the Abbotts were warned. Her disproportionate anger confirms she's not actually trying to help Kane get his product back, and she is certainly not helping the Abbotts.
So her primary goal is protecting her own deal with Victor.
It seems so. Her own clandestine arrangement. Her behavior immediately changes Kane's perception, and this leads us to the most complex part of their interaction.
Which is?
Kane realizes Phyllis is trying to distract him while she, quote, stabs him in the back. Yet, despite knowing she's a threat to his life and career, he calls her fascinating and is kind of flirty.
Whoa. Wait. Flirty? With Phyllis? Now.
Right. This is a deep dive into Kane's core weakness. This raises a critical question. Is Kane being sincerely tempted by Phyllis again, or is this flirting a calculated move on his part to draw her out?
That's tough. Kane is an intelligent businessman. He knows the danger she represents.
But if he is genuinely tempted by her, which, as you said, is the pattern he has fallen into before, he is undermining his entire mission for redemption.
And that's what I find so compelling. I think Kane's flirting is absolutely a calculated risk, but one driven by, maybe, genuine attraction. He's trying to maintain control by engaging in her game, trying to make her feel trusted so she lets her guard down.
But in doing so, he is playing directly into the temptation that nearly destroyed his family and career. He is standing right at the precipice.
It demonstrates that the fight for his professional integrity is intrinsically linked to his ability to resist Phyllis's psychological manipulation.
He is torn between the siren call of his past, the excitement and danger Phyllis embodies, and the necessity of his future. Stability and family.
So if he can maintain the pretense of being interested, he might gain the intelligence he needs to expose the AI theft.
But if he actually falls for it, he loses everything. Again, hashtag G. Kane's motivation for action.
Okay, regardless of his confusing feelings for Phyllis, the underlying motivation for Kane's action remains clear, personal, and absolutely critical to the plot.
Definitely. Kane is actively fighting to get his AI back, and it's not just for the intellectual property or the millions in potential profits. The deeper motivation is redemption.
Right. He needs to redeem himself in the eyes of his children and, maybe more importantly, earn Lily's forgiveness and potentially restore his family prospects.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, recovering the AI is key to both reclaiming his professional integrity and fighting the temptation that Phyllis represents.
So the AI becomes this tangible representation of his self-worth, his ability to be a trustworthy husband and father.
I think so, yeah. If he fails to recover it, he validates every negative accusation ever made against him.
This depth of personal investment makes Kane an extraordinarily potent wild card in the corporate plot.
Absolutely. He has the deepest personal and financial investment in exposing the truth of the stolen tech. This makes him a potential ally to the Abbotts in their corporate war.
Or maybe even a necessary source of information for the struggling Newmans, depending on how Phyllis's double cross plays out.
Exactly. He could be the one character who inadvertently brings both sides down. He's definitely one to watch.
Okay, let's shift gears completely now. We're moving from the intellectual battleground of corporate espionage to the emotional and potentially criminal crisis unfolding out in Los Angeles. Hashtag A, the family crisis and Nick's frustration.
Yeah, the scene at the hospital immediately humanizes the Newman crisis. You've got Nikki and Victoria there showing the solidarity of the Newman women.
And Sharon's there too.
Sharon's there, expressing how awful it is to be in this familiar position again, comforting the family after yet another child has been traumatized by a sudden, violent car crash.
It's a moment that reminds you that beneath all the corporate ruthlessness, there is deep familial vulnerability.
Definitely. But the personal crisis quickly gives way to action and suspicion. Nick is a man who deals in immediate results, right?
Always.
And he is immediately unhappy with the police investigation into the crash. It's too slow, too detached for his tastes.
So what does he do?
Well, Sharon, recognizing her husband's need to do something, encourages him. She gives him a definitive, go dig into it.
So Sharon basically gives him permission to abandon the traditional police process and pursue his own emotional, aggressive investigation style.
Pretty much. And this need for the Newmans to take matters into their own hands is compounded by the corporate crisis back in Genoa City.
Right, because Victoria and Nikki can't stay in LA for long. They've got the escalating AI crisis at Newman Enterprises. Victor needs them. Jabot is mobilizing.
They have to return immediately. That's putting immense pressure on them.
But there's some good news about Noah.
Yes, the human comfort in all this. They plan to bring Noah back to Genoa City for the rest of his slow recovery. And the sources offer that reassuring detail. Behind-the-scenes pictures confirm Noah is predicted to be walking and talking by Christmas.
Oh, that's great news.
Yeah. While the recovery is slow, the long-term prognosis is good, which allows the family to focus less on the medical recovery and more on finding out who is responsible for the crash.
Okay, so the investigation begins, and Nick's attention snaps immediately to Sienna Bacall. Who is she again?
She's the owner of the Shadow Lounge, the club where Noah was last seen. We learned Noah was there doing research for a club he wanted to open in L.A.
Ah, okay.
And Sienna's husband, Mitch Beale, who's the manager, was considering investing in Noah's project.
Got it. So Nick confronts Sienna. How does that go?
Predictably, Nick charges in with all his guns blazing, full of suspicion, driven by emotion. He questions Sienna alone.
And what does she say?
She states nothing was off or strange the night Noah was injured. But Nick's alarm bells go off immediately when he learns a key operational detail. The police haven't even spoken to her staff yet.
Wait, seriously? Why would that omission be such a giant red flag?
Yeah.
If the crash was a simple accident, why would the police neglect basic witness interviews?
Exactly. It immediately puts Sienna on Nick's radar. He instantly mistrusts her, thinks she is actively holding back information.
So what happens?
When Sienna gives a flimsy excuse, claiming she can't let him speak to her staff right now because they are too busy and understaffed.
Nick takes that as a sign of foul play.
Oh yeah, that understaffed excuse smells like a delay tactic. Time to coordinate stories, maybe.
And here's where Nick's character flaw becomes a central plot engine. He accuses Sienna of stalling.
He does, accuses her of trying to buy time to talk to her team to get all their stories straight. He jumps immediately past confusion to collusion. And he takes it a step further, demonstrating his emotional tunnel vision. He quickly moves past the possibility of a corporate cover-up to a personal implication.
Like what?
Implying Sienna must have had a personal interest in Noah. Maybe a romantic one.
Seriously? And how does she react?
She quickly refutes it, stating, "Look, I'm married." Nick is so suspicious, so driven by the need for quick answers that he is completely alienating his key witness.
To characterize Nick's investigation style, the source material offers that brilliant quote, "Nick's main exercise has always been jumping to conclusions, and he's not exactly the smartest crayon in the box."
Ouch. But accurate.
This is a crucial takeaway for you, the listener. His aggressive emotional style isn't just ineffective, it is actively dangerous.
That's the strategic point. Nick's incompetence, his jumping to conclusions, is what could endanger Sharon. Because Nick is driven by suspicion and jumps to these easy conclusions about personal infidelity or simple stalling, he is missing the subtle, potentially criminal truth. He is barking up the completely wrong tree while the real threat is looming. #, see Sharon's escalating danger.
And that leads us to the most concerning warning in the source material. While Nick is busy alienating the primary witness and jumping to incorrect conclusions.
Both he and Sharon are heading directly into danger. They are aggressively chasing leads about the crash, refusing to wait for the official channels.
Oh, okay.
But the source material explicitly warns that Sharon's personal quest for answers will lead her into active physical danger by the end of this week.
Wow. That is a massive warning signal. So while Nick is focused on a supposed affair or a simple cover-up,
Sharon is apparently getting close enough to the real physical threat, the threat that actually caused the accident, to be physically endangered herself.
the immediate terrifying implication is that Noah's accident was definitely not a simple car crash.
Seems very likely. Someone tried to harm him, and they're still out there ready to take out anyone who gets too close to the truth. Sharon might be getting too close. #V, Kyle's risky pact, and the threat to Abbott.com. Okay, adding an entirely new, almost cynical dimension to the LA chaos is Kyle Abbott.
Right, Kyle's in LA too.
He has his own singular motivations for being in California, motivations that directly intersect with the Noah investigation, but not in a good way. #A, Kyle's singular goal.
So Kyle is not in LA for family solidarity or concern for Noah, at least not initially.
Nope. He is laser focused on one singular professional objective: discrediting Audra Charles. He's desperate to dig up any dirt he can on her, and on Holden Novak as well.
Why? What's his goal?
He's hoping to expose some flaw that will ruin her career and make her vulnerable. It's a vendetta.
So his professional and personal vendetta against Audra is overriding everything else, even family duties.
Pretty much. We do see a brief glimpse of humanity, though. On Friday, October 31st, Kyle is going above and beyond for Harrison.
Harrison, his son.
Yeah, the source speculates he may jet back to Genoa City just for trick-or-treating with his son before immediately flying back to LA to follow through on his investigation.
Wow. That tiny pause for Harrison just highlights the ruthlessness of his current path. He's sacrificing major personal time to achieve this goal.
Which makes the deal he strikes in LA even more significant and morally dubious. #tech be do with Sienna.
Okay, so this is where the two plot lines, Kyle's personal vendetta and the criminal investigation into Noah's crash smash together.
Yep. Kyle makes a calculated transactional deal with the highly suspicious Sienna Bacall, the one Nick was just alienating.
What's the trade?
It's straightforward, but high stakes. Sienna agrees to tell Kyle all about Audra and Holden, the corporate dirt he craves, if Kyle agrees to look into Noah's accident for her.
Wait, Kyle agrees to investigate Noah's accident for Sienna in exchange for dirt on Audra.
That's the deal. It immediately ties Kyle's personal agenda to a potential criminal investigation involving his own cousin.
This is a major power shift,
Right.
And it shows Kyle's moral compromise, doesn't it?
Absolutely. He is leveraging a serious family tragedy, Noah's injury, to achieve his corporate and personal goals against Audra. But the collateral damage could be immense.
How so?
The source material raises a serious concern that Kyle's efforts to dig up dirt on Audra could actually hurt Sally Spectra.
Sally. Why her?
Well, maybe through her association with Audra or Newman Media, but more importantly, it could sabotage the imminent launch of Abitcom.
Abitcom, the new company.
Yeah, leading the source to question whether that company will ever launch at all.
Let's analyze the potential stakes here.
Ah.
Abitcom is positioned to be a massive tech venture for the Abbotts. Kyle is potentially sacrificing millions in future corporate revenue and the integrity of a new company just to settle a personal score against Audra.
It really speaks to his tunnel vision and, frankly, lack of corporate maturity, especially when you compare it to the measured aggression Jack is showing back in Genoa City.
Right. Jack's focused on protecting G-Bot. Kyle's focused on revenge.
Exactly. So if Sienna provides good dirt on Audra, Kyle is set to make her life miserable once he returns to Genoa City soon.
But he's willing to risk an entire corporate launch, compromise the integrity of an accident investigation, and potentially mislead police, all for corporate gossip and payback.
He may get his revenge, but the cost will be catastrophic if the truth about the accident and his deal with Sienna gets exposed. #C. Supporting characters and relocation.
Okay, as the LA storyline heats up and gets tangled with corporate maneuvering, we are introduced to a few key players who might be instrumental in the next phase, especially as the plot moves east.
Right. We have Mitch Beale, Sienna's husband. He's the manager of the Shadow Lounge and, crucially, is noted to be a friend of Holden Novak.
Holden, who Kyle also wants dirt on.
Exactly. We are expecting scenes featuring Mitch soon, played by actor Roger Horth, which will undoubtedly intensify the LA plotline and probably yet another source of information about the Audra-Holden dynamic. Maybe Mitch knows something.
But the most important strategic logistical prediction made in the sources is the potential relocation.
Yes. Mitch and Sienna may actually relocate to Genoa City, at least temporarily.
Wow. So the LA drama is not going to stay contained on the West Coast.
Doesn't look like it. The suspicions surrounding Sienna, the secrets held by Mitch, the entire web of information surrounding Noah's crash, it's all migrating east.
This seems like a deliberate narrative choice, right? To bring the two central conflicts, the AI war and the accident investigation, right back to the same geographic location.
Maximizing the collision potential between the Abbotts and Newmans, everyone in the same pressure cooker.
And just a quick note on the fringe LA happenings. Holden is set to see Claire Grace Newman in a whole new way on Halloween, Friday, October 31st.
Interesting. Does Claire use the opportunity of Halloween to maybe shed her usual reserved persona? Reveal a different side?
Could be. Maybe a brief moment of levity, or perhaps something more significant before the major drama really kicks off. #ZCar. The bigger picture and November context.
Okay, before we wrap up the analysis, we need to synthesize these numerous threads, just to give you, the listener, a clear picture of why the first full week of November sweeps, November 3-7, is setting up to be so explosive. #Pact, the wedding interruptus.
First, just as a brief note of stability in the midst of all this chaos, the sources do confirm that some semblance of normal life is trying to proceed in Genoa City.
Right. Christine Cricket Blair and Danny Romalotti have set their wedding dates for Friday, November 21st and Monday, November 24th.
A little bit of hope and romance.
It's a necessary narrative contrast. Even while two families are tearing themselves apart over corporate theft and, well, potentially attempted murder, romance continues.
However,
Yeah.
given the intensity of the plots we've just discussed.
Yeah, I predict these conflicts will ensure there is absolutely no peace leading up to that date. And perhaps the wedding itself becomes a focal point for some dramatic plot climax. You know how weddings go in GC?
Always prime time for drama. Hashtag tag 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 B. Synthesizing the threads. Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. Look at the strategic movement of the characters. The Newmans are needed back in Genoa City immediately. Why?
To handle the corporate AI crisis, Victor, Victoria, and Nikki must return to deal with Jack and Billy's aggressive offensive and the massive legal threat Victor's illegal actions pose. They simply cannot afford to stay in LA.
Okay. But simultaneously, the entire Los Angeles investigation. Plot, Noah's recovery, Kyle's shady deal with Sienna, the eventual introduction of Mitch, it's all physically migrating back to Genoa City.
Exactly. The two cities are functionally merging the storylines because the key people involved are being forced into the same orbit. The geographic distance is collapsing.
So the stakes for you, the learner, are clear. Corporate power, family loyalty, personal redemption, they're all colliding in the most dramatic possible way.
You have Cain fighting temptation and deceit for his integrity.
Jack and Billy abandoning all finesse for aggressive physical payback.
Nick and Sharon risking their lives to find out the truth about their son.
While Kyle risks his entire professional future for petty revenge. It's a mess.
This coordinated movement, this convergence, is what makes the start of November sweeps so explosive. Every major power player, Abbotts, Newmans, and key outsiders like Cain and Phyllis are forced to deal with the other's crises because their own interests are now hopelessly entangled, and they are all about to occupy the same geographic space. Hashtag tag tags outro. So, to reiterate the two primary dangers as we head into this period. First, the corporate war is now powered by stolen, illegal AI technology. That guarantees severe legal and financial fallout that Victor can barely contain, even with Michael Baldwin back on retainer.
Okay, danger number one, corporate implosion.
Second, the increasingly desperate search for answers regarding Noah's accident. It has already put Nick's ineffective investigation style on full display and, more concerningly, placed Sharon in active physical danger.
Danger number two, physical harm and the truth about the crash. So what does this all mean?
Well, the AI plot is driving the Newman corporate leadership back to Genoa City, forcing them into war with the newly aggressive Abbotts. But simultaneously, a potentially related, or at least highly suspicious, event Noah's crash is forcing the key LA witnesses and investigators to follow. The entire threat structure is collapsing back onto Genoa City.
We know Kyle is cynically using the accident investigation to get dirt on Audra, exploiting a tragedy for corporate gain.
Yeah, that's clear.
But given Nick's extreme suspicion of Sienna and the fact that the stolen AI crisis is distracting major players like Victor and Victoria, this raises an important question for you to think about.
Go on.
Could Noah's accident be more intentionally connected to the corporate war than anyone currently realizes? Was Noah maybe a pawn caught in crossfire aimed at Newman Enterprises' future? Perhaps linked somehow to the very technology Victor stole.
Ooh, that's an interesting thought. A deliberate hit disguised as an accident tied to the corporate battle.
It's something for you to mull over as these twin converging plots develop. The possibility that these two fronts aren't separate at all.
Absolutely. The truth is coming home, one way or another.
Thank you for going on this deep dive with us. We will be watching those November sweeps developments very, very closely. See you next time.